Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. If this is your first time, if you could please click the subscribe button down below, and if you click the little bell, it'll let you know when I have new videos up. This is my channel, Christina's Cleaning and Homemaking, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please click like down below. In this video I'm doing a multi-room clean, and the first part I'm starting with is the diapers. ECloth diaper, and laundry had been done for the diapers, so I'm just separating the pre-folds from the pockets and their inserts and the wipes and putting everything up. So I mostly use the pre-folds, but my husband likes the pocket diapers because they're the easiest and most like disposable diapers, so I sort those out, stuff the inserts in them, and put them away so that way they're all ready to go for him. After folding and putting up the diapers, I'm moving on to dusting. So I have two items in the room that really need dusting, and one is my nightstand because it's nearest the air vent, and my husband's nightstand was actually pretty decent, so I decided to leave it alone and then move on from the nightstand to my armoire. It's a standing jewelry box basically, so I went from the nightstand over to the armoire and dusted that, and then once I had dusted both of those, that pretty much took care of any dusting that needed to be done in the room, and after that I'll be onto the floors. Now the vacuum cleaner I'm using is the Dyson Cyclone Absolute, and I love it. I know that there are a few other YouTubers that use this particular vacuum, or even the animal, but I mean it has so many attachments. It's just fantastic. I love using this thing, and it gets into tight spots, and if I have, a spot that I can't get into with one attachment, usually I can put on another one and that'll get the job done. So I absolutely love this vacuum and highly recommend it to anyone who's looking for one. And the mop is from ECloth, and I absolutely love it. I looked through a lot of different mops before choosing this one. It's very convenient, uses a minimal amount of water. It doesn't have any chemicals because the cloth on it is naturally antibacterial. So I really love this mop a lot. Now on to the dining room. It doesn't need a huge amount of work, but the table needs cleared and wiped down. The high chair needs cleared off. The floor needs swept and mopped a bit. So here you see me clearing off the table. I'm not going to use the Dyson in here just because I don't want any baby snacks getting sucked up into it and breaking it. So I just basically wipe down the table, made it. I'll sweep the floor and then I'll mop it. And I have this plastic circular thing that goes underneath the high chair that my sister-in-law gave me. So once I'm done with sweeping and mopping it, I'll put that down, so hopefully it'll catch any food that the baby throws down and it won't hit the floor and mess up the floor. And supposedly it's easier to clean up that way, so we will see. Now this is the mat that I was telling you about that my sister-in-law gave me. So I have the high chair pushed out of the room, and I'm going to lay this down, and then I will actually pick the high chair up and put it over top of it because I don't want to chance it moving while I roll the high chair on. So yeah, I'm just sort of flattening it down. I actually folded one end under a little bit after I put the high chair on because I didn't like the way that, I mean, it's a huge circle for a little corner of a room. So I folded the one corner that I thought could possibly extend out too far and be any sort of tripping hazard. And this is the finished view of the dining room having been all cleaned up and reorganized now. So now onto the kitchen. I need to wash the dishes in the sink, clear out the dish rack of all the dishes that were hand washed earlier and dried, and then I have some stuff to clear off the stove and wipe down the counters. We're having our priest over tomorrow, and actually as I'm doing this voiceover, it'd be now today. And so the bottle of wine, the watermelon, and the bread in the background are all going to be part of the dinner. And I think, yeah, there's also a box of lasagna on the counter too, because I'll be making lasagna and we'll be having watermelon as sort of a dessert type of thing. We also got cheesecake for the dessert. But I'm going to move the watermelon over onto the floor just because I don't think it needs to be on the counter, and that way I can wipe it down. And I'll wipe down the counter in general, but the wine, the lasagna, the bread's all going to stay over on the counter because that's going to be there ready for when I make the lasagna for dinner, and because the wine will be as the drink for dinner. I have my daughter playing in her extra saucer, and I just happened to pick up one of the toys that I had over at the dish rack from I'd cleaned it, so that's why I just leaned down and gave her. So I didn't drop anything on the floor, it's just that her extra saucer is down out of sight from the camera, but I have her in the kitchen with me while I'm cleaning everything up, and she's rather merrily playing on her extra saucer. I'm looking over periodically to check on her and talk to her because while she's having fun, she can also get a little bit lonely sitting there while I'm cleaning. that the dishes are all done, I'm going to give the sink a rinse out and rinse underneath the utensil basket. I've talked about this in 2 previous videos, one my kitchen hacks video and then another one where I did a clean with me in the kitchen. And I love this basket. It's attached to the sink by 3 suction cups, one on each end and one in the middle, and it is awesome at keeping the flatware in it until I can wash the dishes so that they don't fall down the drain. Now it's time to clear the counter, and then I'll wipe it down after I've got it cleared off. And I'm using the Mrs. Meyers multi-surface spray. I'm using this time in peony. I really love the honeysuckle, but I'm running a little bit low on it. I don't think I have my new shipment coming in until August, so since I have about a week and a half, 2 weeks still at least until it ships, I figured I'd just go ahead and use the peony scent in the meantime, because while I don't like it as much as the honeysuckle, it's still a really good scent. Now onto the stove, and here I'm going to use the Method Heavy Duty Degreaser. I really like it a lot. It works very effectively, so it's not like I have to use a tremendous amount of elbow grease and scrubbing the stove down once I spray that on. So I've been using that lately on the stove and sort of skipping the Mrs. Meyers on the stove just because it's so effective in getting the stove cleaner faster. So now that I'm done with the dishes, wiping down the right side counter and the stove, I've moved over to the left side counter, and I'm going to wipe that all down, the things that are on it, and then move the stuff back over onto that counter. And you may be able to see in the background there's a magazine. It's Voice of the Martyrs. My husband's a Catholic apologist. That's one of the magazines he gets that he likes to read regularly. And now onto sweeping the floor. There wasn't a lot of stuff on the floor, but it was still enough that it needed to have a good sweeping over, and then after I get done sweeping it, I'll switch over to the mop, and after I mop, that'll be it. I'll have taken care of the kitchen. I have a few things on the left counter that I'll need to run downstairs to put up for the baby things, but I always do runs down to the basement all at once, so that'll wait until after I'm done with the kitchen. So this is it for my video. The mopping is the last part. I thank you for watching. If you would please click subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'd always appreciate you clicking like, and I hope to see you in the next video.